Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry for the long break, my fault this time. You guys make it into the capital, into the castle,
Yeah.
the keep.
While we're walking, I say, Malachi, let me have the writ. Let me handle this situation.
I am the one who saved Evan.
You are the one who saved it. That's true, but
no, sure. You go ahead. I hand it to him.
To the brother of the old Baroness, I say, my constellations. I'm sorry for your loss.
He just nods and goes back to his post.
We walk to the throne room, I guess.
Yep.
Right. You make your way through the keep. It's fairly quiet. As you approach kind of the end of the atrium, one of the guards there walks up to you, and on his short sword, looks you in the eyes and goes, "What are you guys doing here?"
We carry a letter from the Count.
Right. You were sent to writ of obligation, homage, and all that stuff, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Who's this guy?
He's
just a guard.
Well, why don't you wait on in here? He nods towards the door, opens it for you, and walks in. It's a parlor of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what the Baroness is up to.
Sure.
Please tell her we'd like to speak to her.
We also bring orders from the Count.
Orders?
For the Baroness.
Mm-hmm. He trots off, leaving you guys alone in the room.
This is weird.
Yes.
You recognize that guy?
No, but he seemed about as shady as it gets.
Yeah.
I'm looking around the palo.
Nick, I hope you can fly. We might have to.
Anything? Can I find anything weird in it, or is it just the normal waiting room?
Pretty standard. Why don't you give me a wisdom check?
Oh, I succeed.
Nice. It all seems pretty normal.
At least nothing weird here, I suppose, other than in the boot.
There's something weird though, isn't there? I mean, the Baroness has been murdered.
Well, I can understand that the people are not happy about it.
She was a good woman, a good ruler. Where's Tyrus Bellis? Shouldn't he be here in this man's place?
I think Tyrus is just the sheriff.
Yeah.
Constable, whatever you call it. I don't know. The man could have done great things, but instead he just sits around doing nothing with his life. A waste of talent, if you ask me.
You know, I think I'm going to go and speak to Aldrich, and I just walk out of the room.
I have the writ. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm going up to Aldrich's room.
Okay. You make your way towards Aldrich. Van Helsing, you stay?
Yeah, I've got the writ, so I'll just...
Kine, you're staying?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So a few moments later, the Baroness arrives along with the guard and the captain of the guard. What's her name?
The same one as before.
Is that normal? Or I guess the
Corwell is the captain of the guard. You've seen him many times before. He's middle-aged,
Okay.
6'2", lightweight, with kind of darting, suspicious eyes.
Okay. Van gives a quick bow to the Baroness and says, "Good day, my lady."
The normal guard goes, Where's the other one?
He went off to speak with Aldrich. I don't know. Wizards are strange.
The guard looks to the Baroness, who kind of gives him just a nod.
Mm-hmm.
The Baroness is young. She's 24 years old, just turned 24, and kind of has the vacant eyes of someone who's kind of going through the motions but not really comprehending or or something.
Uh,
You have the writ of homage?
Yes, I have it here for you, and I hand her the letter, and I say, there were orders from the Count as well, but I understand you are still in grieving.
No.
I would understand if you want to wait a few days.
No. Give them to me now.
He demands that investigation into the missing people around the Shadow Mountains be taken with all urgency.
There are people missing in the Shadow Mountains?
Numerous settlements in the Shadow Mountains have gone missing. Villages that just vanished without a trace.
If I may, the whole clan mounted shield in the mines not far from here disappeared, and my village, Windshire, too. Your Grace.
Okay. Well, I appoint the two of you to do this.
Very well.
See it done. You know the Count's wishes better than mine.
Tell me, may I see Baroness Valmont's body? I wish to pay my respects. She was a good ruler.
Kel Vernon Corwell kind of takes a step forward and imposingly kind of rests his hand gently on the hilt of his sword and goes, "The Baroness is tucked away safe and sound. We will not have any further interruptions at this time. But thank you for your respects, fair priest."
I apologize if I spoke out of turn.
No. I am sure the two of you had a working relationship. It is a matter of security. I hope you understand.
Of course.
Side glance at Van. Well, there is another matter. You said, or at least we heard from the people in town, she was poisoned. Excuse me inquiring about this.
I'm not sure this is our place to talk about, Kine. Frankly, I'm not sure if we should be bringing speak from the commoners into the castle.
The Baroness, the young Baroness, speaks as, I trust you, Father. I'm not acquainted with your companion, but if I trust you with this information, that we do believe my mother to have been poisoned. There are no signs of wounds on her body, and no sense. Aldrich does not think there was any magic at play. Poison seems to be the best option.
Well, Van, you said you could obtain information about it.
Potentially. If you would order it of me, I would look into circumstances of death for you. Of course, if you'd rather I did not meddle in your affairs, I would understand.
Circumstances?
You said she was poisoned. I could attempt to find who did it. I can't promise results, but I can try.
We have Aldrich and Lady Rohana looking into it already, as well as many others. It is,
I'm glad to hear they got involved.
The sole focus of our activities at this moment in time.
Of course.
Thank you for your prompt response with this letter, and I am sorry for the bad news upon your return. Now, if you'll leave me, I have matters to attend.
Of course. I wish you the best of luck, my lady. Take a quick bow.
She gives you a curtsy, kind of stops halfway through, remembering that she doesn't have to do that shit anymore, and kind of gets back up and turns and walks away.
All right, I'm going to head over to Aldrich's room.
Yeah, I'm following you.
Or is it Aldrich or Aldrich?
Aldrich.
Okay.
Yeah, King? Fine.
To Van, well, she seems a bit overworked.
She seems to be in grief.
Okay, back at Aldrich's.
Yeah.
Malachi, you're there.
Yeah. I knock on his door.
You hear a string of curses coming from his room.
Right, you're here then, Aldrich.
What? Opens the door with a bit of a slam. Oh, Malachi!
Can I come in?
Now is not a good time.
Is it ever?
No, it's never a good time. Come on in.
Thank you. So what happened?
What's his name? Vernon went to go rouse the Countess one morning when she refused to open her door and answer her handmaidens, and he opened it and went in, and there she was in her bed, dead. I've been investigating along with Rohana, see what we can find. Rohana has interrogated prisoners for us before, as I'm sure you well remember, having been on the receiving end of that.
Yes.
But apparently her interrogations aren't always perfect.
I smirk at him.
Hopefully you didn't have anything to do with this, though.
Are you serious? I wasn't even here.
What a
Who was
perfect
here?
alibi.
No, you'd accuse me of everything, if you could. Tell me, what happened the night before? Was there a feast? Was there anyone new to the keep?
What, you think I don't know how to run an investigation? You young whippersnapper think that you know more than me just because you've been trotting around with your priestly friends? Have you fallen so far from our noble ranks?
Aldrich, really? Is this the time?
What do you think I've been doing for the past few days? Sitting on my thumbs? Looking at cobwebs? I've been investigating this quite thoroughly, young man. And for you to come in here into my house and try to tell me how to run my investigation? Believe me, I know more than a thing or two about this. You should be looking after that father of yours. That man is probably off drinking and whoring again.
He's dead. He's dead. But I'm merely inquiring as to the results of your investigation.
Inconclusive so far. You're not trying to tamper with it, are you?
No, Aldrich, I'm not. You know, you're a bitter, blinded old fool. You've spent too long in this tower.
Blinded old fool?
Do we walk in while Aldrich is just scolding Malachi?
The door's shut. You can probably hear this through the door.
You can't even see when somebody's trying to offer assistance.
There's a difference between assistance and... what is the appropriate term here? Edging in on another's jurisdiction.
There is no honor to be gained here, Aldrich. We're simply all trying to find out what happened. If you're too...
Oh, it would take me days to catch you up on all of our research. Why don't you leave this to me? I'm sure there are other matters that need your attention. Perhaps a fish has gotten loose somewhere.
I knock at the door.
You hear a knock.
I say to Van, just enter it there. I don't do that.
Fine. I open it.
It's locked.
I knock again.
You know, Malachi, you and I once upon a time had I won't call it a friendship, but we exchanged some tools between us. But every time I see you, I get the distinct feeling you think you know more than me.
It is that friendship that led me to this room when I found out what happened, but evidently I was mistaken to consider you an ally.
What would you consider me?
Someone who's interested in their own benefit, their own self-interest. If you truly want to find out what happened, why wouldn't you let me help?
What
You
can
just
you
want to-
possibly offer?
How do you know unless you give me a chance?
Well, here's your chance. What can you what can you get? It's probably still like knocks at the door that the two of you are ignoring.
Can we hear
Well, why
the
don't you
conversation?
fill me in on what happened?
She's dead. We're looking
Yeah.
into it. There are no leads.
Have you talked to the dwarves? That was a joke. You wouldn't get it.
Can we hear everything?
No,
What's it?
it's very muffled. You can maybe get one out of every 6 words.
I tell you what, Aldrich, you keep looking for clues in here, in your tower, and I'll go and see what else I can find. And walk out.
You know, one of these days, you're going to realize what a little pissant you really are.
The feeling is mutual.
Alright, you get down to the door. It is locked. You can't open it.
God damn it. I just like look up the look up the stairs.
He's got a smug smile on. He lords it over you for a few seconds before he comes down and opens the door for you. And of course, you see Kine and Van Helsing on the other side.
Van just walks through as soon as the door opens and says, "It took you
what?
long enough."
No. I am
Malachi.
having no more visitors tonight. Out, all of you.
Aldrich, good to see you. Did Malachi give you the giant's hair?
Giant's hair.
You asked for it a long time ago.
You can tanker us all full when we throw it on.
Oh, excellent. Giant's hair. Oh, just what I need. Thank you, Malachi. Maybe I was too rash to... Get out, all of you. I have things to do.
Aldrich, I have a matter of a bit of sensitivity to bring up with you.
Speak your piece.
It's two things. First off, are you able to speak with the dead?
Dead.
I am. And if I would be able to question Baroness Valmont personally.
And how would we know you are relaying her true intentions?
You would have to trust me. But there is another option. There's a spell that I don't have access to yet, but I feel so close to it. Mm-hmm. And if there's another cleric in Shirebrook capable of casting it, if Baroness Valmont has been dead for less than 9 days, then I can raise her from the dead.
You want to animate Baroness
resurrect
Valmont
her.
as a zombie and have a zombie rule us?
Resurrect her from the dead. Bring her back to life.
Resurrection is long lost.
Raising of the dead is not long lost.
Raising of the dead is a lost art. It does not exist anymore.
That's what you say, but she has such power. With the help of another cleric, I would be able to attain it. Not quite yet, but soon.
You show me evidence of raising someone from the dead and we will talk, but you do know that is long lost. No one has been able to raise anyone
It's
for
not a proper
1500
resurrection
years.
spell. Resurrection is far more potent. It can raise those who have been dead for centuries. The raising of the dead is more limited in time, and that's why I need your help.
You are not hearing the words that I'm saying. That is a lost art that has gone from this world.
Well, excuse me.
Aldrich, I understand your doubt, but I simply want to know if you can help me in this matter. Even if I can cast this spell, she needs to have been dead for less than 9 days. Is there some way that you could preserve her body, keep it from rotting further, from aging, magically, essentially suspended in
I
time?
will not be disrupting any potential clues on or in the late Countess's corpse in order so that you might try your undoubtedly useless efforts to resurrect her.
Excuse me, Arc Wizards.
Yes,
Could you explain? I'm a companion of two.
Yes. Hurry it up. I'm a busy man.
Could you explain to someone unknown to the matter the difference between a wizard and a priest in terms of magic? I heard there is some, at least what I can grasp, one has to study and one gets their power from their god.
Perfect. An idiot to compliment the two of you. He shuts the door. Aldrich,
You'll,
I don't like him. I don't like him.
I don't think anyone does, Kine.
I'd be able to speak with the dead, right? Would other people be able to hear that conversation? It doesn't say that it doesn't say it's like mental or that I'm the only one who can hear it, so I'm not sure.
And receive answers.
Feels like it should be.
I feel like it's like basically bringing the spirit out to answer a couple questions.
Where's the crypt now?
I would need to take a look at my map of Shirebrook.
Okay. Meanwhile, I speak to Van Malachi. Well, maybe you should speak to Rohana. She seemed a bit more
Yeah,
you're
right.
Towards you, Malachi.
That's a good idea, Kine. Let's. I'll go there now.
And Van, maybe you should describe what you saw at my village, or not saw. This feeling you had.
It's not. I don't think it's relevant to what's happening here. I would love to speak of it with Aldrich, but I don't want to interrupt his investigation. Perhaps at a later date.
Aldrich doesn't seem like the type of person who would investigate this matter willfully. And Rohana seemed like she at least cared somewhat. What might...
Oh, with Rohana?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys
Actually,
exit.
hold on. Before we walk out of the room, I turn around and I want to ask about... I tell...
Oh, he already shut the door.
Okay,
Yeah.
wait, while we're walking out, can I... Okay, so we're having that conversation outside. That's fine. Then we'll go to Rohana's.
Yeah.
Okay, it's late. It's after dark already. Make it to Rohana's shop. There is a light on inside of it. You can see through one of the windows. It's a single candle, and she has her head in her hand, kind of resting on the countertop. You can't tell if she's awake or asleep.
Knock on the door.
She startles, looks towards the window. Of course, she can't see out because she's got the candle inside. And
Rohana, it's Malachi.
she struggles over towards the door, coughing and hacking as she comes, stopping to catch her breath a few times. Opens the door, see the three of you outside, and goes, "What brings you here at this hour?"
We've just returned from our travels. We've heard the news. I want to
Stressing.
discuss with you.
Yes. Come in. Ugh. I have the worst headache.
Yeah? You think it's just today, or?
Stress.
So I tried to speak to Aldrich, but he's I don't know, he thinks I'm trying to steal his glory or something like that. Like maybe you could fill me in on the details?
Yeah. Well, Countess is dead.
Yeah.
And Aldrich and I have been interrogating the various people that work, that keep the keep. Servants, guards,
Sure.
siblings. There's one person I have my suspicions about. Stella's fiancé. His name is Teddy. Teddy Hardwood.
Where is he?
He's in the keep. The
What
two
makes
are
you suspicious
engaged to
of
be
him?
married, but not quite there. Not until sometime next year. So they have separate chambers, but it takes a little history to understand why he's the source of suspicion. Do you have a moment?
Got all night.
Please sit down. I'll make some tea.
We're all there, right?
Yeah, you're all
Yeah.
here. She boils some water, pours you guys each a cup of tea, and sits you down and says, "So, Lady, I guess I should really be saying the late Lady Beatrix had many children. 8 children. Her oldest would be 29 this year? 29. Elliot Valmont. But she died in a riding accident 5 years ago or so. Her next oldest is Stella. Let's see. How old would she be when she was engaged? It must have been 2 years before Elliot's riding accident. She must have been 17. So 6 years ago? 6 years
Yeah.
ago, Stella was engaged to Teddy. He's the next in line of second in line, in the line of the Hardwood family. Their own mills and that sort of thing around town and in some of the villages. So they were engaged in 1503. 1504, Elliot dies. Very unusual for her to die in a riding accident. She was a great horsewoman. No one thought too much of it at the time, just what a tragedy. I'm sure you all remember it. It was big news. Which means Stella was next on the throne, next in line to succeed. Her marriage was set to go forward in the next year, and the Countess saw fit to delay the marriage of Stella and Teddy, thinking that Stella needed time to learn how to rule before she got caught up in marriage duties and the such. Very wise by Countess Beatrix, if you ask me. Fast forward some 5 years later, Stella is to be married next year, and the Baroness now dies. Teddy Hardwood is well below the stature of marrying a baron. It's perfectly fine for a second-in-line child, but for the heir to a barony, that is quite a boon for the Hardwood family.
Indeed.
That said, if you are trying to put your son on the throne, you do it after the Baroness. You would do it after Stella and Teddy were married, because then he is already the husband of the Baroness. That said, a clever person would do it, murder the ruler in advance, removing suspicion from them or diminishing the suspicion. Seeing as we've found no evidence in the keep, all the servants seem to be happy, all the guards are well paid. I have a hard time finding a reasonable other suspect than probably not Teddy Hardwood himself. I doubt he quite has the stomach for it. He's only 26. But maybe one of his family members.
Have you tried interrogating that?
We are getting to it. There have been more reasonable suspects up until now. The Hardwood family is conveniently located many villages outside of town, and my health does not take me too far every now and then. The Baroness, when I suggested this to her, would have nothing to hear of it, saying that her husband's family is good and true, and told me not to inspect them, that she is certain they have nothing to do with it, but she is a young child with a heart bigger than her brain.
She gave me no such order, Rohana. Perhaps I could investigate in your stead.
She looks to the other two of you.
There are some things I could help with if you truly suspect it's poison. I'm capable of detecting poison magically. Do you think somebody would, like, if I were poisoning somebody, I mean, you would be keeping track of all the traffic leaving the keep. You wouldn't try and smuggle the poison out, would you? You would keep the vial.
Or unless it was all used.
That's true. But would you put the whole thing in? That would make it much easier to detect.
If I were going to murder someone with poison, I would take with me as much as I needed and not a drop more. Deposit it all in the food.
There'd still be residue in the vial.
How would you find it?
I could detect poison magically.
Might work.
Beyond that, if you truly suspect this Teddy character is involved, I can read his memories. He can try and resist. It's not a sure thing.
I think if his family were responsible for this, it would come from his parents, not from him.
Have you interrogated him to be sure, though?
The young Baroness forbade it.
Well, if you want to make sure that it is poison, would poison in her body still be detectable? Or...
Assuming it hasn't left.
Well, her body doesn't
But
do anything.
last I attempted, I was denied the chance to see her body.
Where is the crypt, Rohana?
Under the keep.
As part of your investigation, would you be able to get me in there?
She nods slowly.
It's an avenue we can explore, but there's something else as well. How long has she been dead?
There are a lot of wolves.
You are, actually, in-game as well. They're at a great
really?
distance, but you do hear them.
Think of all that XP.
How's the tea tasting, Neil?
You don't have a grub skill, unfortunately, so it's good. It's fine. It's average.
It's good. It's fine. It's average.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
stellar. With every
In American English, those all mean the same thing.
I thought
Good
with-
and
with
fine
every-
and okay are usually synonymous, which is unfortunate.
With every sip, it gets more average.
Why do I not have my notes for the day that she died? Hold on.
For reference, was it closer to when we got back or closer to when we left?
It's been 3 weeks. I don't remember. Let me take a look here.
Well, it's been 5 days, so
Right.
2.5 here, 2 Newford and 2.5 back to Newford plus 2 days there. So
Yeah, we spent some extra days in the village though, investigating both times.
oh yeah, right.
I think it's probably been more than 9 days, unless it was. If she died right away, it would have been more than 9. Or 7, if that case of speak with dead.
I think she died on the 25th.
Which is
Today's the
days?
29th.
so 4 days ago.
4 days.
All right.
All right.
I say, all right. Aldrich was not particularly receptive to this. He seemed quite skeptical, and I understand why. But there's
He's a hard
smell.
man to get along with.
Very difficult. I'm not sure how Malachi manages it as well as he does. But
Well, I don't really, but
Well, we heard that.
yeah. That was actually quite friendly.
yeah, he seems to like you. I mean, he doesn't
Yeah.
show it, but I think there's something between you two.
I think he's a little jealous.
Anyways, we're getting off topic.
Yes.
There's a spell that I can't quite cast, but I will be able to soon. And if I can find another cleric capable of casting it, I'll be able to raise Baroness Valmont from the dead.
What spell?
It's a clerical spell called Uplift. If I combine my strength with another cleric capable of casting it, I will temporarily gain a boost of power. I could use that boost of power to cast Raise Dead. But here's the problem. I can only do it if she's been dead for less than 9 days.
So we would need to find a cleric of such power.
And I would need to...
We'll have to murder Kain and Rohana for the XP.
And I will, on top of that, I would have to gain the insight to cast that spell myself. But if I can do that within 5 days, I could theoretically raise her from the dead. It's not a surefire thing. It's possible it could fail, depending on how strong her body is. But it could work.
It's a pretty broken spell.
What, Raise Dead?
No,
Uplift.
Uplift.
Oh, Uplift?
It's a fucking broken piece of shit spell. This is the dumbest thing I've ever read. This is worse than Charm Person.
Okay, no. It takes a full day to cast.
12 hours, but okay.
That's a full day.
Yeah, all right.
Takes a
And
full...
you have to rest afterwards.
Yeah, and it takes I think you only have 10 minutes to cast it.
For the record, I would support vetoing the spell if you wanted to do that, Neil, but I'm not
Oh,
the one
come
who cast
on.
it. I know, I don't know.
Well, we can wait until he hits level 9. Then it becomes ridiculous.
That would take... We'll be playing for at least another year before that happens.
You gain basically
Two
temporary
character
gain of levels, so and then you get to
2
learn.
levels. 2 levels, because the minimum to cast it is 7, and it rounds up. Fractions round up. It specifically says that. So I would get 2 levels, which would bring me up to 9, which is enough to cast a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh
2
my
levels?
god.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll double check, but it does say it rounds up.
Yeah, it's for every 5 levels, and it says it rounds up, I'm sure.
Yep. It says the amount of increase is 1 level per 5 levels of the lower level caster, fractions rounded up.
my god, that is so OP.
Okay, it's very limited in application. It's basically the get raised at early spell.
Yeah, it is actually.
Was Mother Ullman level 7?
I don't remember.
Was Ullman level 7?
There is a level 7 cleric in the capital, though.
Yeah, there definitely is in the capital, and I think there might be in Shirebrook. There's one who's at least level 5.
All right. Well, we'll let Uplift stay.
But here's the thing, Rohana. We might not be able to cast that spell before 9 days is up. Is there some way you could magically preserve the body, keep it from aging?
I don't have any such way.
Then I guess time is of the essence.
If you raise her from the dead and the poison is still in her system, she will just die over again.
I can hold the poison in her body, and at the point where I can cast Uplift, I'd be able to neutralize it as well.
Sounds very interesting.
And
I mean, she died overnight, correct? She was alive when she went to sleep?
Yes.
The poison likely took its toll over time, not immediately.
Yes.
So after resurrecting her, I'd be able to hold the poison in her body. And then I could neutralize it the next day.
you said there's a priest in, how was it called? A priest powerful enough up northwest?
You could always send a messenger on horseback, somebody who can travel very quickly. It wouldn't guarantee help, but it'd probably be the fastest way we could possibly get a cleric to come to Shirebrook.
How fast to, where is it? What place? Where is this cleric?
Riding on horseback, pushing the horse hard.
Stromheim.
Strong. There's many days to Stromheim.
I believe it was 2 days for us to travel there by carriage, but if you're traveling alone on a horse, pushing that horse, you might be able to get there quite fast. Neil is not happy that this spell is a thing.
Literally, the example they use is how to cast Raise Dead. It's
Yeah. That's the best part. Oh,
this is why fucking Tome of Magic. They added so much bullshit. I hate cooperative spells. They're the devil. Right.
I think the main problem is that you said you're not powerful enough.
That is true.
So you're level 6, you would need to be level 7 to cast Raise Dead?
Yes, there's a chance I'll level up this session. It's
I don't know
low
about
because
that.
we didn't fight anything, but I am only like 1,500 off.
Well, we heard the wolves. Let's track them.
I do have some spells. Not enough, probably, but I have some.
It's time to go and kill the Hydra. Let's do it. We've got 15 minutes.
You need to be level 7 to cast Uplift.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
close to level 7.
Alright. This is not even a possibility.
It may be at the end of the session.
Well, if you send
Maybe.
a messenger now and you level up in the next,
Yeah, if I level up next session, we get it done in like a couple days. It happened.
it could happen, Neil.
It's grasping
You
at
know what?
straws.
Anything can happen.
So there was another matter we would want to discuss with you, Rohana.
More?
Missing villages. First the dwarfs, now my village, Windshire, southwest from here.
The magical aura over the village was there in Windshire as it was in the mountains. Seems to be an aura of illusion. Large enough to cover the entire village.
I was able to
Yeah.
capture the thoughts of some of the villagers. It seemed my guess would be the illusion was some kind of attempt to restrict their sight. I tried to do my best to explain the sight that I saw when I cast Thought Capture.
Rohana furrows her brow, goes, I don't know what that could be. Sounds almost like
Another
Right.
plane?
I had gotten a very similar... This does not bode well. Hold on.
Please do tell.
Wait. And she scurries off into her back room, bringing out a notebook, and starts flipping through the pages, and then starts reading. Nods and closes it slowly and goes, there was another, some time ago. I had suspicion of his actions and
Who?
took my opportunity to read his mind for what I could, and he had a similar vision. I couldn't see it, but your words similar to his thoughts about it.
What about what?
He's a
Please.
traveling wizard. You might have heard of him by now.
Oh, don't tell me.
Goes by the name the Lich Guard. Or
The Lich Guard?
the
Sake.
Lich Guard, or
Misty Rapids.
yes,
Right.
that man.
Georg?
What's his name? Georg, that's the one. Georg the Lich Guard. He had...
You read his thoughts?
That is how I knew he had come to be in possession of a Lich's phylactery. Now, that rumor has been watered down. It might have simply been a mistake on my part. I am been known to make mistakes here or there. But he had thoughts of a lich and thoughts of vague shadows.
That doesn't
Where did
sound
he-
good.
Where did
Rohana.
he come from? If he was a traveler, we now know.
Comes from overseas, far, far away.
But you said he was a traveler. Did he do anything in this village? Anything you know of, other than meeting
He
you?
fought
and
with Tyrus Bellows and stole his magic dagger.
anything else?
Is that what made Tyrus Bellows lose his nerve?
I don't know if we're talking about the same Tyrus Bellows. Things that he's done, things that he was here for a short period of time until I saw through his tricks and drove him out of the city myself.
Do you know?
Tell me,
if he did-
the darkness that you said you
Yes.
experienced in his mind, was he
I just
cause or the victim?
I wish I had more information. I wish I had him lying before me strapped to a table so I could probe his mind for the secrets we need, but if he is truly not the Lich Guard that he claims to, well, that I claim him to be, perhaps he might have answers for you.
Well, it seems our way leads us west.
I should let you know that seems to have a trail of death behind him.
I've heard of this.
There have
Terrible.
been people traveling with him that have been hung up in town squares. Wraiths form in his wake. And nobles die. He murdered the Baron of Cauldron and took captive his daughter, heir to the throne. That kept him locked in the tower at Misty Rapids for weeks. He rides a pale dead horse that makes no sound as it moves and barely touches the ground.
Well,
They're responsible for the death of at least 2 clerics.
if there's a dark wizard in this country, then it's probably him.
Wizard or not, he has to be able to move and speak to cast a spell, no matter how powerful he is, correct?
Mostly.
Malachi speaks the truth. There are spells that do not need word or motion.
Words, spells that do not require either.
And
A component needs simply be grasped in the hand or maybe a flick of the wrist. I
Well,
would be careful. This is a man who has associations with vampires. Some say he has put them to death. Others say he works with them and burn down an entire house of nobles up near Rainwood.
I heard of the Battle of Misty Rapids, and it was not a pretty tale. But we don't know if he is responsible for the disappearances. The only thing we can do is maybe ask about
That
it.
is true. There's no reason to believe it.
We don't want to engage him, especially not if he is an arc wizard.
The curse of the Shadow Mountains has been around for many years, has it not? Long before this wizard showed up here.
Curse of the Shadow Mountains is as old as the divide in our continent is.
Well, but we thought about it. It isn't. The disappearances seem to not be a work of any curse, but from something or someone casting magic.
But if this wizard truly does speak with liches, that maybe this lich is responsible, or maybe this lich resides somewhere similar to wherever the perpetrator of the missing people resides. Maybe you dreamed of its home. Maybe they are the thoughts that you read from Georg's mind.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Thornwood rules over Misty Rapids, right?
It does. And I believe
Maybe-
he goes by the name Ark Carl now. Not Georg. But continue, young man.
Maybe we should seek out the Countess and, well, if the who rules over Misty Rapids?
Countess
Some,
Castilian.
Yeah,
She
well,
should have
the
sway
local-
over Baron Song, who should have sway over his puppet. That might be a reasonable path to take.
I feel like going behind this man's back is unlikely to lend him to our cause.
Well,
We might be able to force his hand, but he's unlikely to be as helpful as he might be if we approached him with open arms. I'm sure
well,
he's
we only
done.
want information for now.
I'm sure he's done bad things, but Rohana, I'm sure you know as well as I that most of these tales are merely that. I'm sure he doesn't cohort with vampires and personally summon wraiths.
I would not be so sure of that if I were you. I have seen this man's mind. It is a dreadful place. You know, he took a contingent of slaves over the Shadow Mountains. That's how he came here. They all died along the way, but for one. That one was
Sounds-
found hung from the town square in in Thornwood.
He's just a man at the end of the day. I'm sure if we approach him honestly, assuming he doesn't have anything to do with this, which, like you said, the curse was around well before he showed up. I'm sure
doubt
he'd help.
I doubt he has any correlation with this, but those that
Well,
You may
we
use-
have to
yes, continue.
travel west if Van wants to go through with his plan, or at least hope to resurrect or bring the Baroness back from the dead. We have to go west anyway through Misty Rapids.
I think, really, the more pressing matter is to find out who murdered the Baroness. I would suggest that we head up to Hardwood Estate and
Well,
investigate there.
The Count gave an order to investigate the missing people immediately with all needed force.
That's true, but the Count did not realize the Baroness had been murdered.
Yeah, and the new Baroness appointed... Oh, you weren't there. Okay. The new Baroness appointed us to this task. And Malachi, you promised...
I don't think she particularly cares. And to be honest, the Count was kind of a shit.
Well,
Pardon my English, Rohana. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from.
It troubles me that you play so loose with the law.
I don't play so loose with the law. I simply...
The Baroness
I
doesn't care
follow-
the Count was a shit, therefore you don't have to follow direct orders. That
I
sounds fascinating.
intend to follow it to the letter. I'm simply saying that a delay wouldn't hurt.
Van,
People have been disappearing
Alaka,
for years. I doubt us taking a week out of our time would make much difference.
Van,
Is-
Alaka, I followed you two into the Goblin Woods, together with a companion, on the promise you would help me, us. He died. For you. For us.
We are helping you, Kai. We've just spent the last 2 days researching this village.
Gentlemen, this is a fine discussion to have, but I have my studies to do, and if you have no further need of me, perhaps you could take this discussion outside or back home.
Oh, of course. Excuse us.
Wait, where is the Hardwood estate? Is it perhaps on the way to Misty Rapids?
He pauses for a moment and says, I believe it is north of here.
Yes.
To the east, by the sea.
So no.
What is that place called? Crab Bay? In Crab Bay.
We don't have much time. Finding the poisoner, whatever the poisoner will be still around.
But the trail could go cold.
Probably
Rohana, tomorrow could you get us into the crypt? I can detect poison.
I can get you in the crypt. I will let James know what the reason is.
Okay. One other thing. I will not do this without your permission. If I could cast Speak with Dead, and I could speak with her and see if she knows anything of her own murder. Of course, I wouldn't believe anything she says to be evidence. Nobody would believe what I have to say, but it could be a lead if she knows who did it. A direction for us to look.
Were this my mother, I would ask you to do it in an instant. But I believe
Baroness
that is something that should be brought up to the young Countess, Baroness.
Have you spoken to her recently? I attempted to. She was accompanied by her guards, who seemed to do most of the speaking for her.
She is young. This death was sudden, and there are a lot of pressures that have fallen upon her. She was not raised for this duty, and, to be honest, does not have the temperament. I'm sure she will be given fine counsel by her members, but I think Shirebrook is in for a rough few generations.
Well, whatever it is, if you can get this business sorted out tomorrow, then we have to move.
All right, and on that note, why don't we call it a night?
Yeah.
And next week, when we come back, hopefully you guys will have chatted and figured out where you want to go and what you want to do. I'm sure in the next week of downtime, week and change of downtime, we should be able to figure that out. Speaking of next week, for scheduling purposes, I will actually be out of town for a little while. We're going to go check out Boulder, Colorado, because my wife will be going to grad school there, hopefully next year sometime, or later next summer. Maybe Colorado, maybe Chicago, maybe the East Coast. But so we're going to go check out grad schools in Colorado this next weekend. I think maybe can we do another Thursday next week?
I could.
Works for me.
Yeah.
We'll check in over the course of the week, but maybe next Thursday instead of next Saturday or Friday as a game date.
Yeah, I think Thursday's fine by me.
Okay, cool. Well then, why don't we do our shout-outs and head out?
Whoa. No, we literally getting 0 XP.
Oh, well. Okay.
Because, we are very
do
close.
a lot of stuff.
Well, alright, so you did the... Yeah,
We did the quest, the Writ of Homage quest. We also made progress in that investigation.
That's true. Writ of Homage. You also dealt with the Theradad, whatever his name is. Interestingly, not a total victory over him, but definitely put a thorn in his side and kind of messed up his affairs, and definitely made an enemy.
Rallying up a drunken dwarf mob on purpose, of course.
Didn't really work out.
50 XP for that one, kind.
It was all planned out.
It did actually work out in your favor.
Yeah. The meta reached the count.
Da, ba-da-ba-ba.
You made some sort of progress with my village. At least Van saw, or not saw,
The
something.
vision.
Yeah.
Vision.
That's some new leads.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh, also the giant. Somebody mentioned that we got the giant hair for Aldrich. We got that quest like on the second session.
First session.
We got that done. We got that done, Neil.
I tuned in.
you don't get the same
like-
XP for it as you would have had you done it when he needed it, rather than kind of
He's still
haphazardly
essential.
along the way sometime later. By the way, there's just some giant hair lying on the ground. Here's some, but with
Well,
some
he accepted it, so
he did,
Yeah.
and there's experience for that too. This will be a low XP session, but I think this set up some stones for later.
Yeah.
can I count
Would
as
we,
a defeated enemy when I hit him?
So why don't you each mark down 325 for questing and that sort of thing,
okay.
not gonna
Does,
and let's
Can I
do
take-
individual XP. We still do individual XP, right?
Yeah.
All right. Who had uplift and all that bullshit? Take 50 for that, Van. I hate you. Who had the idea to check the poison in the body? Was that Kine?
me.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that was you?
yeah.
I think I heard it first from Kine.
Okay.
Yeah, I spoke about it if the body would could be checked if the poison is still in the body.
Sure.
Mark 100 for that. That's very clever. The idea that saves the party. No, but maybe Kine should lose some experience for almost getting the party in trouble. But I guess that would have killed them, so no. Well, nothing there. Rising an army of dwarves to almost lose your Baron, their seat of power.
You went into the
Was
dwarf
it-
tavern, and I was just like, nothing good can come of this. Like, you can't
Was it
associate with dwarves.
Oh. What should they have done?
It was beautiful. It was perfect. You should have done the exact same thing. I loved every moment of it. Everyone take 200 experience for role-playing your character as well, because those are all beautiful.
How much for the recap?
100.
100.
Okay.
No combat. Warriors. Priests. You didn't cast any spells today, did you? Oh, you did.
I did.
Enthrall.
Enthrall, and I also got the Dispel Magic.
Detect thoughts.
Yeah, the Thought Capture.
Do much, but thought
I did do Speak with Dead, which confirmed that either his is it your mom?
Definitely the.
Either she's
definitely
been dead for more than a week, or she's
still alive.
What level is Enthrall?
Enthrall's second level spell.
All right, so you're going to mark 200 for that because you actually did that to further your deities' attitudes and mythos and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Speak with Dead failed, so no experience for that. Was there anything else? Oh, a detect magic.
Thought Capture and Dispel Magic.
Yeah, don't
Detect
mark,
Magic as well.
yeah, don't mark anything for the spell, but you can take Thought Capture and Detect. That's cool.
So that's another 100.
Malachi, you did an invisibility to chase after the dead giant.
And mirror image to find a drinking partner.
No experience for mirror image. But you know what? No, take experience for mirror image. That was a good scene. I loved that scene. Take it. But no experience for the invisibility because it really didn't lead to anything. Just kinda
That's a
run
sad
around
scene for the
invisible.
character.
Pine, you didn't defeat anything in combat, so no experience there. And I think that's all the experience for this week.
Somebody's right that Van has cure moderate wounds on that peasant, and I would argue that that was to further his mythos as well.
That is true.
You did to enter speech. Build the power of cheese or something.
I'll leave that
Right.
up to a die roll.
I don't want Van to level up before me, so it's okay if you want to give it to him.
No, go ahead. Take the moderate as a mythos thing as
200.
well.
Okay. I'm still I'm about 180 off from leveling in that case.
There's the,
How did you get so much? Jesus.
I got 875 total.
For spells?
No, in total.
Oh, I thought you were 1,500 off before.
Well, adding the extra 200.
Right.
plus the bonus. Okay, hold on. Let me, because I did the bonus. I did the bonus 1.1, and that put me up to 54,659. So let me go and do that, and then I have to add another 220. So I'm up to 54,879, which is 111 off, or 121 off.
All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Guys, anything interesting coming up this week?
Not leveling.
Oh.
Nice. Beautiful. Kai?
No. It's interesting. I'm gone for the weekend seminar.
Hey.
Nothing for me. I don't think. Let's see. Nope.
Oh yes, testing out my new PC.
Ooh, that's right.
After I'm back.
Well, good session. Not much got done. I'm a bit gutted that we didn't level up.
Yeah. Did we do anything that should have got me an extra 121 experience?
We'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.